Welcome to the College of Wealth podcast, the ultimate financial guide to help you understand your financial stresses and how you can build from it. Your lessons won't be in class, and your projects can either save you or earn you money. We host episodes 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help you reach your financial freedom. Now let's get started with your hosts, Owen Parody and William Goulet.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello. I did the usual breathe it at the same time as you, so I missed my first line.
It was perfect. It was honestly perfect. But hello, everyone. My name is Owen Parody. I'm here with my co-host, William Goulet. We're proud to present to you the College of Wealth podcast.
Podcast.
Yes, this is the College of Wealth podcast. This is a financial podcast that teaches you the latest and greatest information about money, because at the end of the day, this is a crazy money-making world.
Yeah, the world is money-making first and foremost, right? Because that's inevitable.
Yes.
But at the same time, times are getting crazy. I don't know how that works. I don't know if people add that A into their sentences, I'm
sure.
getting to there. No, that's not right.
But it is a crazy money-making world here. We like to go and say that the College of Wealth podcast, because we like to go and say that this podcast is meant for entertainment purposes only. We like to indicate. We like to
hold on one second. So,
yes.
Entertainment purposes. Yes, I'm with you. Sure.
Yes.
However, I like the information that you put together. And I think we should not neglect that. So I think we should call it information, entertainment, infotainment. What do you think?
I like it. I like that a lot.
It's new. It takes a little bit of getting used to the whole idea of infotainment, but I think it's appropriate.
I agree. It is really good. And it's going to be awesome, because this is what we like to call infotainment here at the College of Wealth podcast.
Absolutely.
Both Will nor myself are financial advisors. That's what we
certainly
like to
not me anyways.
Me either, by any means.
True.
But we do have a bachelor's degree in business, and we both work in the business industry.
And in the money-making world.
And the money-making world, that's for sure. But the grand scheme of things, the reason why we do this podcast is for, I guess you could say, 2 reasons. Why is that, Will?
To get your gears turning, as I like to do, the classic gears turning. And number 2, well, it's just entertain, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Yes.
Am I missing something, Owen?
Reality, we like to make this podcast because we like to make money.
Well, actually, that's true too. But sometimes we also like to save money, Owen. So
I love how you played that off. You just screwed everything up, but I feel like you did screw it up. You just wanted to go and turn it all around.
Well, that's now open to interpretation. I do want to mention real quick, the background is a little different. I'm just doing a little recovery from a little surgery there. So if the video looks a little weird, that's why.
There we go. But that's all fine and dandy, though, because we are still going to be uploading onto the YouTube channel, College of Wealth Podcast on YouTube.
Religiously.
Exactly. If you want to go and follow us on Instagram as well, at the College of Wealth or College of Wealth Podcast. Yep. Really awesome. Or give us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. That'd be great as well.
That's me.
Really helps us out tremendously with that kind of information, or just how much you love or what you'd like to hear more about on the podcast would be great.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to note as well, we open our DMs. So if anyone has a topic they'd like to see covered, comments or questions, our DMs are open. We're happy to chat.
Now that we got, I guess you could say, the cleanup or the intro. The intro is probably a better way to say this, because we're not picking anything up here. Well, actually, we are going to be picking things up going into the next gear.
Where we left off.
Where we left off with episode 106. And we had an episode specific, very similar to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on episode 89, YouTube's biggest scammers.
Oh, yeah, the scammers. I remember the one guy that just peeved me. He just peeved me. I don't remember his name, though.
Well, we're going to review this once again, but with TikTok's biggest scammers and biggest scams.
I bet you there's so many more, actually.
Well, TikTok. the thing is with TikTok is there's so little at the moment, but there's so many different types of scams. There isn't anyone in particular. There's just, so I had to go, the way we have it formatted is we have our stats I got a little story as well.
Oh, nice. I like, you know what? Yeah, we talked about this during episode 100, how we like the story version. And
so we got 2 big things and then one side thing as well at the end.
Okay, right on.
That we all know of, that I also had to include into the podcast itself.
Okay, I look forward to it.
So without further ado, we are going to jump right in to our first stat. Would you like to know, would you like to guess what the biggest scam was? And it's not very covered. I'm going to say this.
What it was?
Yeah. One of the biggest scams. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest scams.
Must be a cryptocurrency scheme, right?
Nope.
Hey guys, this is Elon Ma. Please buy some cryptocurrency.
Elon Ma.
Okay, if it's not crypto, then it's got to be just stealing people's accounts.
Nope.
Okay, I give up. What's one of the worst offenders?
So this one here is a story of Alves dos Reis.
Okay.
And Alves dos Reis printed himself real money, and I'm going to tell you this right now.
On TikTok?
No, this is not on TikTok.
Okay. Okay, never mind then.
Alves dos Reis was born in Lisbon in 1896. So TikTok was definitely not around at that time.
Nope.
Yeah, and I'm reading this off of ExpressVPN, by the way. This is not promoting, it's just the website ExpressVPN, straight from Express. When he was 28 years old, he printed himself so much money that he caused an economic crisis that led to a nationalist military coup d'etat.
Whoa.
Yes.
A coup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Reis forged a contract with the Bank of Portugal that authorized him to print a new set of banknotes and approached a company that previously printed Bank of Portugal notes, Waterloo and Sons, to make all the new cash. So he literally just got the templates from the previous printing company.
And he got a contract, a fake contract?
Yep.
Wow.
That authorized him to print print some money with the with the prints themselves. As the printers used legit original plates to print the banknotes, the forgeries were absolutely perfect, obviously. Yeah. Reis had 200,000 banknotes printed, worth almost 1% of Portugal's entire GDP.
Whoa.
So that is GDP, for anyone who doesn't know, is gross domestic product.
Yeah.
How you calculate the net worth of a country, basically.
True.
So he had almost 1% of Portugal's net worth.
My goodness.
Comparable to publishing about $2 billion in currency today. At one point, nearly half of the 500 escudos notes were fake. Nearly half of the 500 escudos notes were fake. In fact,
so he printed the big dollars. He didn't stay modest with fives or tens.
No. And you can imagine that they're not autonomous printing like there was today.
True. Oh, true. Yeah.
In fact, yes. Okay. Reis used a bank he acquired in Angola, a Portuguese colony at the time, to launder the money before. Yeah, no. In fact, Reese had so much money, the business, real estate, and luxury goods he bought created a boom in the economy. So he actually controlled the economy. In fact, Rees used a bank he acquired in Angola. So he literally bought a bank, a Portuguese colony at the time, to launder the money before brilliantly he attempted to buy himself a stake in the Bank of Portugal to retroactively approve his unauthorized notes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa. Now that's smart.
Eventually, Rees was found out by journalists of O Ciclo, a newspaper owned by tycoon Alfredo da Silva, who saw Rees as a competitor. The extent of Rees' conspiracy was so large that few believed it could have been carried out by a single person. The government and courts suspected that not only corrupt employees of the National Bank could have helped Rees, but he also had support from the German government in an attempt to take over control of Angola.
Oh my God! So this could have been seen as an act of war by some people.
Yeah, and this was by a singular person that did this. And Rees, and this was they said Rees received a 20-year prison sentence for this.
For almost shutting down a country, I'd say he got a good deal. And he also got you could probably bet that he always stows away some money on the side.
Oh, for sure. You know? Well, here's the thing, of which he only served 15 years of it.
Good behavior.
Well, you could say that, or the devil decided to call upon him because he died of a heart attack in 1955.
Oh. Okay, yeah. This is like a Catch Me If You Can almost.
Literally, yeah.
My goodness.
Absolutely wild. And obviously we got two last stats here. We had to include some stats in the stat
that was section. A stat. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. This was a stat. Stat. The second question here. How much did TikTok raise in 2021 in revenue?
Oh wow. Revenue, they must have gotten $15 billion.
Your first guess is closer. $4 billion.
$4 billion.
You're still close.
Solid business, honestly.
It has 1.4 billion active users, though. And
that's crazy.
India has banned TikTok. This is the second part. India has banned TikTok.
They're still at 1.4?
Yep. And with the ban, it is estimated that TikTok has lost how much money with that ban?
Oh, I'd say an eighth. So $500 million.
$6 billion.
Whoa.
Yep. So
holy crap.
There's a lot of people in India, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, I'm like, are they as strong of consumers? You know how we were talking about how the Americans are the most consumerist of countries. I'm like, well, how much is it worth per citizen over there? Yeah, I never would have guessed 6 billion.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But now that we got this portion of the stats done, and I mean a little bit of a story as well, I had to do this short story. We got to go and talk to our first scammer who hasn't officially admitted to their scam.
Talk about the scammer, right? Not to them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't think they'd like to be on this here.
Well, we'll
and
see.
The first scam, and I don't know if you know them, I'm going to announce them as them because it's easier to do that and you'll understand why. Okay. And this person goes under the name Debbie Kranken.
Okay.
And I got a lot of my information thanks to Sunny V2 on YouTube, if you know who that is.
Oh, yeah. A video essay kind of guy.
Very good documentaries. Awesome. If you had the time to look at his videos, amazing. So the first I'm going to go and cover is Debbie raised $358,000 to build an augmented reality game.
Okay.
Which is absolutely amazing. Good way to start off.
That's a out of the park fundraiser there.
Yeah, really good. But now you might be wondering, how did Debbie raise $358,000?
Some illicit ways?
The first way they did this was they decided to obviously post on Reddit saying that they wanted to build an augmented reality game, and it got a lot of praise. And a lot of people said, "Why don't you first build yourself a community and ask to do a GoFundMe?"
Okay.
That is a very common way to go and raise funds in those scenarios and get a good startup for your augmented reality game.
And legal, nothing sketchy about
it. Yeah.
So far.
So far. And thus, they decided to go on TikTok and decide to start building a community with the idea of raising funds for the most natural thing with augmented reality, close to augmented reality. And that is to do transgender operations.
Whoa, what?
When I'm saying this, it's a joke. I'm not saying anything about that, but they decided to go and they said that they wanted to go from male to female.
Oh, I see. That's how they raise money. They didn't advertise the game at all as saying, hey guys,
so they did a full 180.
Please help me fund.
They did a full 180 and decided to go from male to female transgender. And this is not the scam itself, by the way.
Well, was the intent to use that money for the game as well?
Yes, but thankfully they didn't have any. They had very, very little funds at the time when they started to do the male to female transition.
Okay.
So when they decided to do that, I don't necessarily know their pronouns, so I'm just saying they in this case scenario. But Debbie decided to go and build that community, and they advertised that they had a lot of issues. They're starving. They just didn't know how to, they had issues making month rent and everything. And they're also struggling being transgendered.
This was all in the game advertising.
No, this isn't in the game. This is on TikTok.
No, I know, advertising to raise money for the game. The
game is out of the question. The game is out of the question now.
Okay, at this point, it's still no. Okay.
Yeah, the game is out of the question. They just did a full 180, and now they're advertising the fact, or not the advertising, but they're demonstrating that they have a need for this, especially funds for this.
An appeal to the person saying, "Hey guys, I need some help for X and X reasons."
Yes, exactly. Okay. And thankfully, the community is very supportive with that kind of stuff. In reality, it is very difficult to go and open up for something big like that. And some famous TikTokers started donating large amounts to Debbie's funds. And in this case scenario, some of them went and said, "You know what? I have my creator funds and I'm going to pool everything into that for the next 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. Wow. And I will also promote your TikToks on my account.
Yeah.
Just to go and support."
Wow. And
it was really, really really big type of support to help a struggling transgender person.
It's the type of stuff you love to see. You see a human in need of help and you're like, everyone comes together. Hey, I'm going to promote. I'm going to do this. We see all sorts of examples like that. So, hurrah, hooray to the community.
And that was exactly it. But things started to change a little bit because at one point, Debbie announced that they only raised $76,000.
Okay.
And that's when things started to get a little interesting because the comments were starting to say 76,000 is still impressive.
That's life-changing.
Debbie announced as well, pointing out another transgender person who had the procedure and raised 56,000 in only 3 days. And meanwhile, Debbie raised 76,000 in 2 weeks. So what's going on? Why am I only getting 76? I should have significantly more if this person managed to raise 56 in 3 days.
Okay. It's already getting a little bit on my nerves with the ungratefulness, but we'll keep going.
So one thing that moved forward with this was that TikToker under the name the Life with Liz discovered that Debbie actually has more than one GoFundMe account with different funds.
No way.
she noticed that Debbie has 3 other accounts, one with $10,000 raised, one with $140,000 raised. This is the one that was pointed out later on from the 76 to 140. So this was the same one that managed to raise from 76 to 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's the same one. This one was for the transitioning, and there were other ones, one for $65,000, one for $93,000, and one for $50,000. Now you might be wondering, I said 3 accounts were discovered.
Yeah, that seemed to be more.
Yes, because Life with Liz discovered 3, and other TikTokers did deeper dives and discovered that Liz missed out on a few other ones, totaling over $350,000 in money raised. And this is where, and I apologize for the quote, shit hits the fan.
Yeah, no. Apologies accepted. It fits.
And of course, now other TikTokers are starting to do a deep dive on Debbie.
Yeah.
Deep dive on Debbie. and one TikToker named Zaya Persian calls Debbie out, saying that they are transitioning themselves, and the cost to transition for them was $30,000.
Whoa.
And they're wondering what's going on. What type of person are you getting? And they said as well, like Isaiah indicated, that to go from even the most famous surgeons would cost up to around $100,000. And you have $350,000 raised, and you're still complaining.
And now, at this point, is Debbie admitting that the total's at 350?
Oh yes.
Okay.
They acknowledged it. Debbie acknowledges it.
Confession mode.
Yes, but no confession.
Okay.
No confession. Just admitting that there's $350,000 raised, admitting that life is difficult. Pointing out still to this day that these people like Zaya, Life with Liz, are terrible people, saying that Debbie is saying that they're struggling, they're having a hard time living with life. I have a hard time making, still having issues with the rent. It's hard when you're being judged and everything like that. And
what?
Yeah, well, Zaya did, of course, a react on that react video, digging deeper, which is natural for any type of YouTube or video format, and did a deeper dive on Debbie just to find out that Debbie lives in LA, in Beverly Hills.
Whoa.
Debbie says they don't live in, I'm gonna say they don't live in Beverly Hills, but needless to say, Zaya says that they live in LA.
Okay.
Which is expensive, and they found Debbie's contract for $3,300 a month.
Whoa, how'd they find the contract?
But the crazy thing is, they managed, as Zaya also found a prepayment to an Audi A5 with custom,
there's the slap in the face right there,
with custom color, like a custom black color to it, worth around $44,000.
Owen, it's not easy going around and not having the right shade of black on your Audi.
Right? It's difficult. It's very difficult. And so it's a very Debbie to this day has never admitted to it, has only went against, I would say, defense, as in aggression, as in these people are terrible, as in people are not realizing the type of difficulties that they're facing.
Yeah. And
it's
they're
really
going deeper into the victimization.
Exactly.
Right.
The poor me. Jeez. And the worst part of to this day, there's updates on the GoFundMe saying I have only had X amount of donations about this time. Why am I not getting more funds?
No way. More high horse stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh my goodness. More. I deserve this. I deserve that. I
yeah,
can't believe it.
and yeah, and so they're obviously shunned. But I'm going to end this story here by saying, unfortunately, because Debbie was in the limelight of all this,
Yeah.
the transgender community got under fire because a lot of them were seen as scummy, or are they really trying to go and do this? And I'm here to say that people who are transitioning are not doing that. This was an exception of
Debbie's
someone.
a bad apple that spoils the bunch.
Yes,
right?
the squeaky wheel that does.
Actually, don't let it spoil the bunch, rather.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of good people out there who are truly going through this, and it's difficult. They're already going through tough times to begin with.
Yeah,
they don't need more crap like what Debbie's putting them through.
No, it's true. And what was the name of the person? Liz?
Life with Liz.
Life with Liz.
Yeah.
Well, I actually really like Life with Liz for doing some, well, I guess it's investigative journalism, right? Even if you're not a journalist, and major props. When everything was going in one direction, Life with Liz dared to go one way, which, by the way, fits well with the quote of the day.
Oh, I like this.
The quote of the day is from a former English Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher.
Okay, yes.
And here's what Maggie has to say. She says, "Don't follow the crowd. Let the crowd follow you." And that's what Life with Liz did. They stood out from the crowd, went their own direction, and look at that. People started tagging along and going further and further in that direction to find out the truth. Well, what we assume to be the truth anyway. Benefit of the doubt, right?
Will isn't even the storyteller for this episode, and he's doing amazing storytelling right now.
I got time to process it because it's more of a storytelling episode, so I have more time to process and think of my connection.
5 minutes later, Will's just falling asleep.
Yeah, I've used all my energy. This podcast is over. Anyway,
our second component here, or second, this one isn't a story, it's more of a segment.
Oh, okay.
And this one is actually known as #scam talk.
Oh, okay. Is it like something like Bell Let's Talk, but not as good of a cause?
Definitely not. It's definitely not Bell Let's Talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
This
scam
is
talk.
Scam talk as in TOCK.
Oh, never mind that. I'm almost sorry I brought it up.
Well, scam talk, it's actually supposed to be TOC, but because TOC is a banned term, scam talk TOC is banned. You just need to add like a K or different versions of it to access this information.
Do you know why it's banned?
Because the content I'm going to talk to you very soon.
Okay, right on. All right, let's dig in. I'm getting excited now.
So this community is a community, or I would say not really, I would say community of people who teach you how to make big money. They teach you how to make a lot of big money here. And the biggest term on this community is called the risk.
Okay.
And the risk is basically a card reader that you purchase for yourself.
Oh, yes.
I see your face. Are you serious here?
Yeah, for yourself. Okay.
And you need to go and take that leap of faith. You need to take that leap of faith to access that big money. You got to overcome your fears. You got to go.
Are you just going to live a regular life, or are you going to make big money?
Yeah, exactly. Why on earth are you going to work 40 years of your life just to go and die with what a menial RRSP or 401k when you could go and be young with a lot of money? And all you really need is to take that risk. Take the risk.
My goodness.
And the most common card system to purchase was called the MSRX6, which is a pretty fancy looking. I actually looked at it. Also, this is a lot of information I got from Upper Echelon Gaming.
Okay.
They
right
had
on.
they had a lot of different scams they were covering as well, but they had photos of the MSRX6, which was pretty not futuristic, but modern looking. You wouldn't really think that it would. It's a card reader. That's what it is.
Now, so any chance you got a price on those?
Oh, I'll look it up right now.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm wondering what the price is, because you can imagine that there's people who try to say, oh, well, elevate your lifestyle, become a risk taker, do illicit activities. And then there's also the people who say, do it, and they're just going to sell it for a crazy price and just try to make money off that actual sale.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure.
Because those people can be legit businesses. Here's a little device that I sell. And it's just for your own purposes, so.
Yeah. Well, the fancy, like the cheap ones go for $80.
Yeah.
And the fancy ones go for around $350.
That's honestly not as bad as I would think.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Obviously, the price of these machines isn't as bad as what we think. It's not as expensive. Yeah, it's not that expensive. So the MSRX6 isn't as bad. It's not like, even at fancy, it's not $350 here. So they're not going to be making a lot of money with a machine of that kind.
True.
So the thing is with this system is a lot of people will have videos, and a lot of them are targeted to kids.
Oh, no.
So the vast majority of TikTokers are kids.
Yeah.
And
so are the most naive buyers. Kids.
Exactly. And they'll flaunt taking the risk. And they obviously have videos of thousands of dollars and hundreds, fanning it out and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they'll show how they scam people with those machines itself. And how
really they'd show it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't show obviously the user or the people getting scammed, but they show the system itself.
Yeah, a little voice to narrate it. Get Wi-Fi anywhere you go.
Yeah. And what ends up happening is another way they end up doing this is they not only advertise the system, because in reality they're not making a lot of money. They're not making money. If anything, they're making money on the views, not really the system itself, unless they're selling the machine, but that can cause a lot of issues.
Yeah, but I think those card skimmers might actually be cheap, relatively cheap hardware wise to create. Oh, yeah. So if you're able to mass produce them, you might be able to make a decent margin, even at $80.
I guess so, but think about it. Most of the people who are scamming this or doing this aren't smart enough to go and figure out how to build a system like that.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I should have thought about it.
Most of them are 13, 15 years old.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is for them to make money is by selling what they quote unquote call the Bible.
Oh, no.
And it's called the Scam Bible, to be more precise.
Yeah.
And they make money by selling the Scam Bible. And it is an entire quote unquote Bible of all the different ways you can scam people, whether it be return fraud, social insurance number fraud, PlayStation fraud, any type of fraud you can think of. It's in this Bible, quote unquote.
Jeez.
And they had the video itself is basically like a Google Drive, and it had a huge list of dozens and dozens and dozens of different ways you can scam people.
That is crazy. You can imagine the appeal to that.
For sure.
Do you have any idea what they were trying to sell it for?
Yes. So one of the people that they interviewed, who obviously wanted to remain anonymous, said,
"Sure,
my friends and I never partook in any of the activities, but we partook in selling the Bible itself, and we would sell the Bible for $100 a pop."
$100. I mean, you look at the price of some of these books, and that's like one thing to take away. You can see how it'd be appealing to someone who's willing to take that risk, right? And elevate their lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely insane how much money that could be made in that for all the wrong reasons. And kids don't know the dangers associated to this. And for anyone who doesn't know, you can go up, you can get up to 20 years in jail for 20 years of jail time for credit card fraud.
At that point, you might as well just start printing your own currency and buy your own bank, so you can slowly buy a stake into your company's into your country's bank.
It's nuts. But yeah, I would think that would be less risky at that point.
Yeah, no, but you're right. For something like that, you can see the appeal, but they only see what's in front of them, right? Because let's say you're 16 years old and you're I'm going to say delinquent. It's more like you got testosterone peering through you and you're creative, right? So you're looking for how to express that. It can be very appealing if you have something like, and you could have money and have a great lifestyle. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, really? Okay, let's try it.
Oh, Jeez. I have actually seen videos myself on TikTok about scams themselves, some scanners, specifically when it involves with tap. So a lot of them have plastic film, like a lot of machines, like debit machines, have the plastic cover on them.
Yeah.
Well, the scam itself is to have the scanner on the plastic around the around the debit machine.
So you just
when you tap, so and the cashier might not even notice you placing it on it because it just falls right on top of it. Bing, 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 and you're scamming the
reader.
The reader. The customer. You're scamming the customer, and I bet you it's still reading. I bet you it's still being able to be picked up on the debit machine, so you wouldn't see it go. So it's like a double hit.
Oh my God! One of the craziest ones that I heard was someone had taken all the information through one of those skimmers.
Yep.
And then they went to the person's car. And they said, "Oh, sorry, could I get instructions?" And they whipped out a map. And while the map's there, they reach out, they grab a card so they can have it, like whatever information's missing, put it back in, and then they get to duplicate the card. Who's the name on it, the signature, recreate it perfectly. Crazy.
That's insane. Wow. So needless to say, there's a lot of that going around. So be wary of that kind of stuff. We're informing you, please don't partake in any of this here because you can get into legal action.
And even if you didn't get in legal action, we don't condone.
We don't, no, not at all. No, my Lord. All the ways I've made money were 100% legal, and I do not. It's not easy, and that's the whole reason why the people who are up there stay up there. Because
I've seen one of these guys who's coming up, and he's one of these, I'm sure you know, but considered one of these Sigma male guys.
Yeah.
And one of the lessons that he's teaching is don't go legal at first. Like, go illegal to start and then start going legal afterwards. I'm like, that's bold advice to give, man. Like,
you can't give advice like that. That is illegal advice.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, all that being said, we at the College of Wealth podcast believe in legitimate ways of money, right? And we recommend it. Give yourself a shot. Failure, the legal way, is better than the failure the illegal way.
You're not going to get
busted, man.
You're not going to get a lot of sympathy points from people for failing the illegal way.
Honestly.
The second component to the scam talk also has to do with advertising. And TikTok does not really condone, and they're terrible at condoning these. I'm not going to say scammers, but they kind of are. Okay. They will basically, let's say LL Bean or Gucci or anything like that.
Okay.
make those brands, advertise them on TikTok, and sell them at 80-95% off or whatever. And there were, yeah. And what they're doing is they're selling fakes of whatever the product is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you see a lot of that on like Alibaba or whatever, like, it's a fake. But when you see the actual brand itself advertising it, that's a different story.
Whoa.
But it's not the actual brand. They're faking the brand itself.
It's sort of like how people are creating fake Mr. Beast accounts.
Yes.
And then commenting on everything,
Yeah, literally that. Exactly. And in this case scenario, what's happening, like one example that I saw was just someone saying that I don't know if you heard of Le Creuset.
Oh, yeah.
Like for
the bake, the oven.
Yeah.
Creuset, I think it
Creuset,
is.
Le Creuset.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes sense. It's one S. So Le Creuset, which for anyone who doesn't know, it's high-end kitchenware.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for one pot is easily going to run you anywhere between $100 and $200.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh yeah. They're not cheap. Well, someone bought a set for $80 and they said it was on sale. It was on sale. They're getting rid of it's a clearance for $80 when in reality it's worth $1,800.
Oh, geez.
So
a good rule of thumb: buyer beware. If something sounds like it's too good to be true,
it is.
99.99% of the time.
Unless it's a friend or something like that who doesn't know what it's worth or whatever.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's a garage sale and they don't know what it's worth.
Yeah, that's
right?
that can happen too.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them buy them off of Alibaba and they're not what they are and they're fakes. So yeah, people fall for that, unfortunately. And the last bit of it is TikTok Pro. So there are scandalous apps who,
controversial.
Yeah. So in a scenario like India, people in India are getting scammed at the moment because obviously since TikTok is banned, their apps like TikTok Pro are coming about. And you have to pay X amount of dollars to access it, like whether it be $2, $5. They've made up to like over $500,000 with this app.
Whoa.
And even people in the United States, Canada, or across the world say, oh my gosh, TikTok Pro, that's amazing. Like this is the enhanced version of TikTok.
What?
And they're making money off of that.
My goodness. Yeah, you'd never think, eh?
Oh, yeah. But people fall for it. People legitimately fall for it.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of audiences. And, I used to think, oh, okay, I've been through the whole scam phase. I'm likely not going to fall for any scams. But still, as I go through my life, you always talk to people and they're like, oh, well, how about this? How about that? Oh, I almost got this. I almost got that. You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So as the generations keep phasing in, phasing out, there's always going to be money for scams.
Oh yeah, where there's money to be made, there's going to be scammers.
Yeah.
And the last segment that we have here is a community that we all know very well, and I had to talk about it very briefly because it is notorious in general for this kind of stuff, and unfortunately has built this community because they're the large community of crypto.
Oh yes, the crypto scammers.
We're not going to talk too long about it because exactly that. It's self-explanatory. We spoke about it beforehand. We could have an episode of the biggest rug pulls. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, we could.
But it's just ideas. But it's exactly that. Just that there's so many that happened. And for anyone who doesn't know what a rug pull is, basically you get a community, you pump up, you come up with a new idea, which most of the time it's a copy paste of the same code of a different crypto coin.
Yeah.
And they literally pump it up, they advertise it, pump. It goes up. Everyone wants to make money, so everyone invests in it. No one buys the dip. Everyone buys the run up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're supposed to do the other way around.
Yeah. Well, and just maybe to explain, pumping is to inflate it, and as it
Yes,
inflates,
correct.
the market contributes to inflating, but there's an artificial little kickstart
Yep.
that brings it up illegitimately.
Yep. And in this case scenario, that's what happened with the Squid Games token.
Oh yeah. Oh my God,
So-
I can imagine.
So the Squid Game token, I saw a lot on TikTok and everywhere advertising it, how this is the next big thing and everything. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like
Yeah.
Squid Games literally started like 2-3 weeks ago. Like this is just a trendy thing.
Brutal.
Well, it was estimated that the developers, when they did the rug pull, came out with about just under $3.4 million.
Oh my goodness.
And the coin peaked at $90 a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now worth 1 cent.
Oh yeah.
And
Jeez.
it was $90, by the way, like for like 1 day, 1 or 2 days.
And how many coins are there out there?
I would not be able to tell you.
At $90, I mean, that must be a relatively low amount, not like in the trillions and trillions.
Yeah, I was just looking at Coin Market Cap for that information, and that's what it peaked at for 1 day was $90, and it just tanked right after that.
Oh, that's brutal.
I have a very similar, and I'll say it quickly, but I actually was part of one. And when I say a part of, I don't mean I was
Planning
a developer.
it.
No, I was not. And I quasi cashed out with some money because of it.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about the aftermath behind it there because it was just some transfer funds between my own accounts there.
Sure.
But I had a friend who was advertising a crypto coin.
Okay.
And it was called Bedrock. Is it called Bedrock token?
Okay.
Oh, all right, cool. This is interesting. It's a friend who's advertising it. Cool. You know what? I'll support it. I'll put in $100.
Sure.
And the coin was worth I think an eighth of a cent, if not like 0.08 cents. I think that's what it was, 0.08 cents.
Whew.
Yeah. Well, it
Dude,
went
that's
up.
That's 8,000ths
It was either that or I'm gonna lean towards 8 cents.
Sure.
Sorry, not 8 cents, but 0.8 cents. It was just under a penny.
Sure.
I bought $100 worth of the coin. So I was like, if I lose $100, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I had to go through the entire process to go through it because obviously it wasn't on the main platforms.
It wasn't listed on Wealthsimple Crypto.
Definitely not. But I got it, and it went up from 0.8 cents to 5 cents.
That's
so
good returns.
From my $100 was now worth like $500, $600. And I was watching this like a hawk.
Yeah.
Like,
I can imagine.
I was watching it like I was looking at my phone, maybe, and I was refreshing it maybe 10 to anywhere between 10 and 50 times an hour.
Whoa. Okay.
Like I was really looking at it. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put in another $100 in this. So I put in $200 total. Oof. And at that point, it shot up all the way up to 55 cents.
Did you sell half, Owen?
Well, here's the thing. I was there and I remember watching it. I just got back from playing squash and I was looking at it and I'm like, and I actually did some research on who are the largest holders. And I'm like, I don't like that this holder has like 30% of, it's like 30 or 40% of the shares.
Yeah.
The tokens. So as I was making myself dinner, I saw it drop. Was it
your friend?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
This person, so the share or the price went from 55 cents and it went all the way down to 48 cents. And it was the first drop that it has seen in a long time.
The big scary one.
And I was there and I'm like, I need to sell. I need to sell ASAP. Well, the price for my $200 investment was worth $8,800.
Woo!
Yeah. And
is this the one that I think it is? Okay,
yes,
sorry,
it is.
go ahead. Oh,
well, no. It is. And basically, but that's the aftermath afterwards there. But it tanked, and between the time of me logging in, registering, and selling, it went from 47 cents all the way down to 40 cents. And I think I would cash out with $4,500.
Wow.
I was still happy.
Yeah, no doubt. You went from 200 to that's exponential growth. You never get that ever.
No, but that was my time that I committed to paying attention to this.
Yeah, true.
I got lucky in being able to catch that falling knife.
Lots of stress too.
Well, coin, I think the coin is worth 2 cents now. 1 cent. I think I would still.
So you still would have made money.
Yeah.
In your case.
Yeah, I still would have made money in that case scenario here. I'll see what
I know it would have been. The odds of you getting anything similar to that kind of return in your lifetime is probably still zero.
Oh yeah. Well, it was from. It's worth just under 3 cents right now.
So you still would have tripled your money and maybe even 4 times your money.
Yeah.
If you were just to hold.
Oh yeah.
And not even look at it throughout your statements.
I'm saying 50 cents in Canadian dollars for anyone who doesn't know. The peak was just under 30 cents American.
Okay. Yeah.
And at the time, and yeah, so it stayed neutral at 2 cents since 2 or 3 cents since that big crash.
Jeez.
So needless to say, that's a huge, I don't know if you could call it a rug pull, or I just got really lucky.
Yeah. Well, did you look into it? See if it was considered a scam or anything?
I couldn't find anything.
Okay.
I couldn't find anything at all, but
it certainly speaks to the volatility of crypto.
Yeah.
especially the one that isn't Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, if you still want to consider.
For sure. But a lot of people will pump that up on TikTok and everything.
Well, and that's the risk, of big platforms like TikTok, is everything associated to discoverability at large includes discoverability for scammers.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome way to wrap things up here for the College of Wealth podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Owen Parody. I'm here with my co-host, William Goulet, and we're proud to present to you once again the College of Wealth podcast. Peace.
Peace.
This has been your daily dose of motivation with the College of Wealth podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for listening, and until next episode.